Quick side note as usual, have a few actually. As you can see, we have some changes, we have a new sign, and then we also have the chair, okay? I feel like a fucking queen. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's really comfortable. So yeah, new light, new chair, loving the setup. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Also, while we're here, I just want to quickly mention that from the 21st of July, I think, to the 31st of August, it is summer break, the 6 weeks holidays. I dread that time every single year. I hate it so much. It means that I can't film. Also, for people that don't know this, I come from quite a large family, meaning that there is constant noise happening 24/7. Also got a little puppy called Cass. He's adorable. He's growing up so fast. Because of me coming from a big family and having noise 24/7, I choose to film my videos on days where people are out of the house, just for peace of mind. So just bear that in mind, okay? I can only post one video a week. I wish it was more, but I just can't. Half the time I'm dog sitting because we don't trust Cass, okay? He's nearly 6 months old, and we cannot just leave a puppy in the house by himself because he whines a lot. He's still a baby, obviously, and you know, we could come home one day to find him mauling the sofa. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. And I am fully aware that I've not posted a video in a month, okay? Me and summertime don't get along, okay? The humidity alone kills me. I have a hard time breathing, okay? Especially during the night when I'm trying to sleep. I feel like I am suffocating despite my bedroom door and window being left open. Like, hey, it's Mel, I hope you're doing well and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, it's lovely to have you here. Today we're going to be looking at the unsolved murder of Oneal Moore, who was killed in 1965. This case, unfortunately, isn't well known, though it should be. It was featured, however, on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. There's a lot to cover, so let's get into it. Oneal Moore was born on the 23rd of April 1931 in Louisiana. He was the first African-American deputy sheriff for the Washington Parish Sheriff's Office in Vermado. The FBI is offering a £20,000 reward for any information leading to the capture of Oneal's killers. His murder was investigated for over 50 years. All prime suspects were members of a disgusting group of people who liked to wear white robes. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be calling these people demons because it's fitting. You know exactly who I'm talking about. I'm going to be... Cheeky devil. The dog's trying to get into my room. Also, over the years, some of the prime suspects have died. Oneal had 4 daughters and a wife. He was 34 years old, and all he wanted out of life was to support his family, keep them safe, and have his job. He was an army veteran who was a leader in his local church. A lot of people looked up to him. He was a very loving and caring man. Sadly, racism was still very high at this time in Louisiana. Oneal had a work partner called Creed Rogers. Creed and Oneal were appointed deputies on the 1st of June 1964. Creed at the time was 41 years old. Oneal knew that he had put himself and his family at risk by accepting the job. He tried to be cautious, and he also avoided civil rights activities, which were still taking place at the time. 1 year later, on the night of Wednesday, 2nd of June 1965, Oneal and Creed were heading home. They were soon tailgated by a black pickup truck. When they got onto Peters Hill, they noticed a fire on the left side of the road. They made a U-turn and went to inspect the fire. Looking more closely, they realised it was a harmless bin fire. Oneal and Creed made another U-turn and continued south on the road. The pickup truck they had seen earlier had pulled off to the right side of the road. As they passed the truck, it pulled out and began to follow them. Creed noticed that the truck had a white rail and a rebel tag on the front. As the deputies continued to drive south, the truck sped up and pulled up right next to them. At least 2 people from the truck began to fire at the deputies. Both Creed and Oneal were hit. They lost control and crashed into a tree. Oneal's time of death was at 10:30 p.m. A local resident heard the shots and ran to the crash site. He found Oneal dead and Creed badly injured. Creed was wounded in the shoulder and blinded in one eye. The man stood guard until the police arrived. Creed managed to broadcast a description of the pickup truck on the police radio. He said the truck had a white Confederate flag on the front bumper. How much of an arsehole do you need to be? This was clearly a racial attack. Chief Deputy Sheriff Doyle Holliday arrived at the scene a few minutes later. He started an intense investigation that would last for 7 months. As Creed was taken away in the ambulance, he described the truck to Doyle. Half an hour later, Doyle learned that a truck that fit the description was caught in Tylertown, Mississippi. The truck fit the description perfectly, except the side rails. At the time of apprehension, there was no side rails on it. Apologies if you hear water running. Someone's running a bath. The truck was stopped 20 miles from the scene of the shooting. The driver was arrested but later released on a £25,000 bond. The charges were later dismissed due to lack of evidence. The demons denied any involvement. Of course they would, I swear to God there's no justice in this case. As we continue, you'll just get more and more enraged, as I feel right now. Racial tensions rised in the area. The murder of Oneal really shook the community. I mean, he was such a good man, he loved his family, he just wanted a steady job and he wanted to keep his family safe. That is all he wanted. Oneal was then replaced by another black deputy. Doyle continued his investigation. No one was ever convicted in the shooting. The prime suspect in the case died in 2003. Many other people were interrogated and questioned by police. Despite the understandable rage that many black people in the community felt at that time of Oneal's murder, his wife Marvella, I hope I'm saying her name right, apologies if I'm not, she would not allow any signs of anger at her husband's funeral. Oneal's funeral took place on the 6th of June. Like I mentioned before, there was also civil rights activists and movements happening, meaning that young teenagers were learning about their rights at freedom schools, run by the Congress of Racial Equality. Oneal's killers weren't all identified. 2 weeks after the shooting, while Doyle was at home with his family, shots were fired into his house and he told everyone to get down. Luckily, he and his family were unharmed. Doyle grabbed his gun, went outside and began firing at the assailants as they drove away. He believes he was attacked to try and scare or potentially stop him from further investigating. However, he and others involved in the investigation refused to back down. The case was deemed inactive in 1967. The demons were too powerful. They had a lot of control over people. People were concerned that either they or their families would be targeted and attacked if they came forward. One of Oneal's shooters was finally identified as 41-year-old Ernest Ray McLevin. He was arrested in Mississippi shortly afterward. He was charged with murder, briefly held, and then released due once again to lack of evidence, which is so frustrating. Marvella Moore wants justice for her husband's murder. The Oneal investigation was reopened 3 times by the FBI in 1990, 2001 and 2007. This case really helped the civil rights movement. I've never been more enraged at a case in my entire life. If there are any updates in the case moving forward, I will let you guys know. That's all for today. That was the case of Oneal Moore. Leave a comment below what you think about this case, what your thoughts on it are, and as always, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.